do this. All right, it's the first week of my health journey to be in my most optimal physical, mental, spiritual state. The next 5 months, I am dedicating to really taking care of myself and to getting into that best optimal health. The reason for this, if you haven't seen the latest video, you can watch it right there. I'll also link it below. It's been a wild decade of feeling sick, feeling like I'm feeling better, and I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of backstory because I didn't give you much. So back in college, it's probably 2011, I started getting really sick and couldn't really figure out why. I had digestive problems and I just always felt terrible. And I had all of these tests run and they couldn't figure out why. They were like, it looks like you probably have celiac, but all the tests came back that there was no intolerance. So I went about my life and was like, all right, I guess I'm fine. Finally, someone said, you have IBS. That's not a diagnosis that I felt was appropriate. I felt like there was something more going on, yet I didn't yet have the tools or the knowledge to really advocate for myself or dive into like what's going on. There's a giant truck driving by. But I didn't have the knowledge or the tools or the resources or really the interest in figuring out what was going on. I mean, I had the interest, but I didn't have the interest of like exploring other things. And I moved to New York later that year for the summer, and I was on set and someone said, hey, it sounds like you have a gluten allergy. You should cut it out. So I tried cutting it out for a month, and I accidentally had something that had gluten in it after a month, and I felt horrible. How I felt all of the time. And I was like, great, never eating gluten again. So it's been about a decade of not eating gluten. Yet in the midst of all of that, I started having period pains as soon as I started having a period, but they were really prevalent. And in the meantime, I got really into like health and wellness and nourishing myself. I couldn't tell you where it started. It just started. Like, I went off of hormonal birth control after a decade, and I went off of it when I was about 23, and that just changed everything. I started getting like crazy cystic acne, which I never had, and getting rashes all over my body. And clearly there was a huge imbalance and huge means in my body trying to process like, whoa, what's going on? So I started going to get holistic facials. That was really like, I think the entry point. And then I was like, well, I should probably like eat healthy, and like, it all just kind of evolved. I don't have like a specific moment that was like everything changed. It was more that it slowly evolved, and once I started learning things, I started wanting to learn more things. And so I feel like at this point in my life, I'm pretty healthy. I struggle in some areas, and that's really where I want to refine and improve over the next 5 months. So for me, that looks like I forget to eat meals sometimes. I get really swept up in what I'm doing, and then I'm like, it's 7 o'clock and I haven't had anything to eat today other than breakfast. So my biggest thing that I've been doing lately is just eating 3 meals a day. So simple, but eating 3 meals a day and having them be really nourishing. So I eat a gluten-free and a vegan diet because that feels really great for my body. I choose to be vegan for environmental reasons, for physical reasons, and for the sheer fact that I don't like meat and I do not like eggs. And the thought of dairy now kind of repulses me. So I just like trust my body. All that to say, my biggest thing is that I want to just like nourish my body. So eating 3 meals a day, remembering to drink water, which I'm so terrible about. I should grab my water. Your reminder to drink your water also. And then I want to move my body more. I'm really not great about moving my body. I don't like working out at home, and I'd rather do things that are like naturally occurring than like a workout class. I do absolutely love yoga, and earlier this year I did 100 days of yoga and it was incredible. So I'm wanting to get back into that, but I really want to honor my body. And I learned recently about this idea of like doing specific workouts at the different stages of your cycle. So really leaning into that, depending on where I am in my cycle, like doing a more intense workout or a more intense hike is my interpretation, or doing a yin yoga class when I'm on my period, like things like that. So I'm still moving and nourishing my body in that way, but I'm doing it in a way that's in alignment with what my body really needs. And the other piece is really getting into a good mental headspace. I have a lot of spiritual and mindfulness practices that I do on a daily basis and a weekly basis, but I want to be more present. I want to be less swept up in my very intense emotions that I have and have more control over how I react to things, because I can be a little reactive instead of taking a pause and then making a statement. So really getting into a better space in that way, and also having been witness to Kyle having a pretty horrific seizure last year, and then just being his caregiver for the past year and a half, it's been really challenging for me, and I've spoken about that a lot. And I just want to come back to really taking care of myself and really living the like put your mask on before you put anyone else's on, because I can give everything and then I don't leave anything for myself. So making more space to be alone, as I am very much an introvert, and I really feel replenished when I have time to be absolutely by myself doing things, by myself just relaxing, going on adventures, but time alone is going to be really important. Other thing, I started the Bean protocol earlier this summer, and it worked like a miracle. Beans are magical, is what I will say. And I have this really unfortunate habit of when things really work, I tend to give up on them. I don't know why. The human brain is confusing. First month, I felt great. My skin was glowing, my hair was growing. I had no period cramps the first month, which is unheard of, and I was feeling fantastic. Then we went on some travels and it just kind of threw everything off. So that's the other big piece, is coming back into just like adding more beans into my diet so that they can mop up all those extra hormones and toxins and move them out of my body. So today, I'm gonna just like keep it simple. I'm heading into this first week of the next 5 months and the rest of my life, because it's not gonna end in 5 months. And I tend to go from like 0 to 1,000. If I'm like excited about something, I want to do everything at once, and it never sticks. So I want to take it really, really slowly and just like slowly add things in and take my time. So to set the foundation, I'm going to clean my house, because when we have a clean house, we have a clean mind. If your house is messy, your mind is likely cluttered, and I can attest to that. I'm not diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, because I have a lot of messes. I'm really good at starting things, and I'm not so great at finishing them. I get like really excited to do something, and then I get really not excited to do it anymore suddenly, and so I just give up, and then I create these little like messes everywhere. I imagine them as like little fires burning in all the corners of our house, so I'm gonna put out a lot of those fires. and just like eat my 3 meals, be outside, and like I think that's a good place to start. Like nothing crazy. I'm not like going to like 5 workouts a week, but like I'm gonna do maybe 3 yoga classes this week and go on a couple hikes. That's my goal. You should know how that goes next week. So, beans, eating my food, moving my body, and getting my mind right. That's where we're at. I hope you enjoy this. I hope this is helpful for you, and let's do it.
Don't be a stranger in the night. Take a chance for some romance. Don't cover your eyes. Willow trees know you better than anyone else. It's time you let your guard down for someone like me. I'd say I'm settled and pretty calm. Don't storm in the storm. If not me, then someone like me that knows what to do and how to take care of you. But most of all, that deserves you.
A couple months ago, I broke up with my therapist because it just was no longer a fit, which is such a weird sensation to have to break up with your therapist, but it just wasn't a fit anymore. I started leaving my sessions with her and not feeling better, but more in a state of questioning, and not in a good way. Like, I think it's important to question, be in a reflective space, but it didn't have me leaving in a really good headspace. So I decided to break up with her, and I have been searching and searching. I've been wanting to work with someone who does EMDR because there's definitely some traumas that I've experienced that I'm holding in my body that talk therapy is not effective, because I need to like touch into it in a way that feels a lot safer. And from what I've learned about EMDR, it just feels like really the right thing, because you don't have to talk about it. There's a lot of like feeling and sensations and letting it move through you, and that's where I feel like I'm at. I need that extra help. So I'm about to have a session with a therapist to see if she's the right fit, which I'm really excited for. And I think it's a good first week of starting this health journey of really taking care of my mental health, because I feel without that we really have nothing. So I'm gonna go get ready.
Knows what to do and how to take care of you. But most of all, that deserves you.
So the reality that I feel like I live through every day is the uncertainty of how I'm gonna feel. And for me, I might be in pain in my abdomen. I might feel really nauseous. I have nausea quite often, or heartburn. And a lot of times I might just get a headache that knocks me on my butt. And today turned out to be one of those days. So took myself out into the little right outdoors, put on my hammock. I'm gonna lay low.